What's poppin' in the streets, everybody? I believe therefore I'm King Sylar. Hope you're doing all right today. Appreciate you running it back with me. Who's really Southside session? Battle predictions. Look, that is a crazy tongue twister. Pause. Let me make it. So we're not gonna waste no time. We're gonna jump immediately right into these battles. But before we do, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Any support that you give me is much appreciated. Trying to hit that 1,000 subscribers mark. We're sitting at 777 right now, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to get there before the summer. You got 2 months, so please like, share. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections. If you agree, if you don't disagree, if you're hating, we appreciate that too, because that just runs it up. It's all good. Feel free to look at the video and then go live and then talk about it. Do everything you possibly can, but stand on business, because that's what you do. Not stand on business. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. But again, big shouts out to Kill Bill for throwing this session. And yeah, excited for it. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now we have our Saturday battles. These battles are going to be hosted inside at the studio. The floor is going to be slick, so I advise you get some with some grip. Just trying to be a good guy and let y'all know, because boy, that floor. Them Converses ain't going to help you. Don't wear them. Don't wear them. I repeat, do not wear Converses. Dear God, don't wear Converses. If you wear them, you'll fall. But just get some shoes with some grip. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into this this first battle. First battle of the night. Oh, and also, just a reminder, guys. This is just my opinion. It's not ironclad. It's not 100% fact. It's not written in concrete. Again, it's just my opinion as far as just how I analyze battles. It's all good. It is all good. So here we go. So Saturday, first battle, we got Reborn versus Ruga. Reborn being buck, character heavy, and rowdy. And then we having Ruga, who is street, character heavy, and brash. For those of y'all that don't know what brash is very smash mouth, very in your face, very much like borderline disrespectful. You know, without just like the blatant disrespect. So looking at this particular battle, both individuals are pretty well versed. Now, I don't want to just simply like just throw this on top of these guys as far as in terms of blanketing, like saying that they're the best of the best, but both of these guys are pretty well versed as far as in terms of looking at the criteria of crump, meaning like I don't see any major hiccups or disadvantages as far as in terms like both of them will try and go for combos. Both of them, if they feel like it, will go for a hat trick. Both of them will change levels. Both of them will try and attempt to bring character to the table. So that's when I say when these guys are pretty well versed as far as in terms of the grid of the spectrum as far as what we look at in terms of crump. So this matchup is pretty damn close. I think the biggest factor that I'm going to lean in is probably the consistency of battling. No disrespect for Ruga, but I have not seen Ruga battle consistently, and I don't know if he will have ring rust. And for me personally, that does take a factor. And the reason why I say that is because Reborn, I've seen him consistently battling literally throughout the year and last year. And one thing that is a big advantage as far as for him is, again, as I said, like I did the last reviews, as far as in terms of them being outside in the street, we are going to be inside. So in a sense, this will kind of be a stage. There will be a controlled environment, lighting, mood, etc., so on and so forth. So with that being said, I have to kind of give it in favor as far as in terms when we look at character and stage presence. Now, I'm not necessarily talking as far as in terms of performance. I am talking, well, a little bit, but as far as like being more theatrical, how it's presented. Reborn has consistently been in something that the Immortal Buck tournament created called What Lies Beneath, which is the performance side of it, which is the artist choosing a track and performing. Now, that doesn't always necessarily translate, but it does help develop experience and comfort with as far as introducing and presenting new creativity with your craft. That's not something that I've seen from Ruga. It's not that I'm saying that he doesn't have it, but when I look at this and I say, okay, we're going to be a controlled environment, who is much more likely to take control of the room and then present their character or their style in a much more articulate way, to where like it's much more receptive. Reborn. Again, as I've said it, third time now, it's not that Ruga can't do it, but I think Ruga takes much more of a street approach to this particular battle. So with that being said, I'm going to go in favor of Reborn. Now, that's not to say Ruga can get in there and he could not play any games, and he could just get in there and just start, wilding on Reborn. Ruga can very much take this battle and turn it into a brawl. And then that theatrical approach may not work because it's going to look like Reborn did a whole bunch of nothing. But that solely depends on these particular opponents. But in his defense, I've never seen Reborn necessarily back down from, as far as like, kind of getting in people's faces too, a real, kind of getting kind of brash with them as well. So yeah, so I think this battle's pretty damn close. But I just think that big determining factor in regards to Reborn's comfort level, as far as like being on the stage, plays a factor for me, because that character can sway. And it opens a new lane for creativity, so on and so forth. So I'm going to edge this one to Reborn. Next battle we got coming up, we got Wavy versus Kev. I don't know who the Olympian is. You ain't doing no type of sports in the tight ass clothes you be wearing. So I don't know why you calling yourself the Olympian, brother. Let's be for real for a second, brother. Like all them jean jacket clothes you be wearing, brother, give them back to your little cousins. Like, stop it. Like we can't do that. So, sorry. Stupid cat. Jeez. Anyways, but getting back to this. So we have the Olympian versus Kev. So the Olympian is catty, live, concept, and material heavy. Kev is unorthodox, concept heavy, and style heavy. Now this battle these opponents are polar opposites. And I definitely think that this could go either way. Now, I will definitely say, as far as in terms of having much more of a bag, I would definitely say Wavy has much more of a bag as far as approach. Like, he's very buck, very in your face, very smash mouth, gonna, dance right there in front of you. He's gonna bring some combos to the table. I've seen him touch his hat every now and then. Gonna bring a lot of concepts, and from time to time I've seen in the past, he will bring some character into play as well. And it's material heavy. So it's a pretty decent sized bag, if we're just being honest. And he's a 6'5" dude, like he's a big dude. So he's not 6'5", but he's 6 something. I know that for sure. 6'3", 6'2", whatever. Take your pick. Don't matter. Big dude, gets live. Important for being your size, because you don't just want to be a stationary big guy that don't bring nothing else to the table. It's not a good look. So it's a good bag to have. Now, as far as the other side of it, again, with Kev being so unorthodox and very style heavy. Now, Kev's whole is another individual that is going to stick to his game plan through and through. It's not to say that he can't do any of these things, but one thing's for sure, I don't see him pull out too many combos, and he's not necessarily too big on as far as like a bunch of in your face material, as far as like trying to take it to a dog fight. He's very much like, I'm gonna do this. And because I don't want to downplay him, because I am very much a person who advocates for a different approach as far as in terms of crumb. How people approach their craft is very much their own thing. My only worry is if this could potentially turn into a battle where maybe whoever starts, because I do think that does play a factor. Whoever starts, the opponent has the ability to rebuttal. I think it would be much more dangerous for Wavy to go second, because if he watches Kev and Kev sets a mark or sets a pace, and then Wavy gets out there and then he matches it and gets live, it's going to put Kev on the defense. Now, on the other side of it, if Wavy gets out there and he takes a particular approach, because in this particular capacity, Wavy is, so to speak, the much more traditional dancer in this regard. This is the problem as far as battling unorthodox or abstract dancers, is that their approach is never going to be traditional. It's never going to be linear. It's always going to be based off of you paying attention to detail. And that is where Kev lives, is he creates a lot of detail, has a lot of big, great sweeping movements, and his level changing is crazy, which is an advantage as far as versatility of moving that he does have over Wavy. So with that being said, this battle is a tough one, because I think when you have versatility of movement and a variety of creativity, I'm going to kind of look over it as far as at Kev, excuse me. But then as far as in terms of, we look at that over here, we kind of look at the bag as far as for Crump. Well, I don't want to say Crump, but as far as in terms of the potential to take control or establish dominance in a battle, I would say I'm leaning over here towards Wavy. But ultimately, I think this does kind of come down to experience. And I have seen probably Wavy in a little bit more spaces as far as experience. So I'm going to go with him as far as the edge for the battle. It's not to say that Kev can't take this battle, because, again, Kev is not a linear dancer. It just doesn't. If he comes in, if he's labbing, which I'm sure he is, comes in with some new creativity, he could very much take this battle and he can make, Wavy look very basic or very linear. Again, as I said, that's the problem with dancing against unorthodox dancers, that they are not going to take the direct approach. So Kevin is very much a person that is going to, attack the body like the entire fight, and then maybe hit you with one uppercut and you're going to be out of there. You're going to be so busy worrying about a whole bunch of different approaches to his rounds that maybe you end up kind of losing your own game plan. Who knows? And that's not me trying to coach or anything like that. That's just simply being direct, and from what I've seen, what happens when people battle against Kev. So, but overall, going to go with Olympian for the win. Next up, we got Bomba versus Empower. Bomba being very power-based, cocky, concept-heavy, and then Empower being buck, concept, and character-heavy. So I think we're going to potentially hit the nail on the head. Big man battle? Maybe? Yeah? No? Maybe? Who knows? But I do think that these individuals have a lot of similarities, and I think this is a very close battle as well. Bomba is another one that is part of this new generation of as far as Crump. I think he's been around for a year and a couple of months as well. Said he had spent some time in Mexico trying to learn Crump as well and get around certain people. But again, moved to Texas for a while ago, and just happened to be one of the people who came to one of the Battleground Crump classes that I taught almost 2 years ago. And he's been taking punch classes ever since. So he's definitely no slouch. And then obviously we have Empower, been around for quite some time. I think maybe like 10 years, maybe something close to that. But obviously Empower is very much of a character and concept heavy dancer. So this is a tough one because the experience is there, but I will definitely say the consistency is with Bomba. Now, the one determining factor that I will say that would play, that plays a factor here, is that Empower is very much a person who is going to stick with the game plan. Not to say that he can't freestyle or adapt, because obviously that's what we're doing. We're freestyling. But a lot of our movements are choreographed in advance, clearly. But then when I look at Bomba's been consistent as far as tournaments, battles, sessions, traveling, things of that nature. Really trying to, immerse himself as far as in terms of Crump. And I think a big variation or a big variable that I think is important that people slack on is that this one time that I saw Bomba battle B Heavy. And I think B Heavy held his hat out, and then Bomba kind of did this move, like he kind of like dropped the coin like in his hat and stuff like that and popped it up or something like that. It was very much of like he improvised that. He adapted in the moment to as far as like his opponent trying to antagonize him. That is something, in my personal opinion, that takes skill, confidence, and just, a high level of confidence. That's not something that you see from a lot of dancers. A lot of people, for sure, we freestyle. But to improvise moments like that, some people cannot get off the track of their game plan. They can't make a detour, or no pun intended, or it'll mess up like their entire rhythm of the momentum of their round. So it's a tough one, but I do think that's a big factor, because I think that definitely plays into Bomba's character a lot. Like, he is very much kind of like gonna kind of swag on you, kind of style on you a little bit, and it works well for him, especially for him being a big guy that has a lot of power. He does get live, like, and he's no slouch. So I think there's a pretty big factor to play here. Empower is kind of making his way back. Spent a lot of time, just life, things of that nature. No big deal. But I think when we look at that, the experience will play a factor here. So for me, in my personal opinion, I'm going to edge this one for Empower, but I'm not finna slack, because I've seen Bomba attempt to touch his hat or do moves a little bit too much for me to just be like, oh yeah, this is a clear in favor of Empower. So I am going to edge it for Empower as far as in terms of experience and potentially what he may bring to the table, because he is big as far as character based, can be very theatrical, and has a history of doing performances as well. So I think that will play a factor here. But yeah, I'm definitely not sleeping on Bomb on this particular battle. So shouts out to those two. Next battle we got coming up, we have a rematch. Limbs versus Mighty. Limbs being Buck, concept and material heavy, and then we have Mighty, who is rowdy, concept heavy, and material heavy. Now, this is a pretty interesting battle. Again, rematch. I think this battle happened like 2 or 3 years ago in San Antonio. I'm interested to see how this is going to go out, because obviously the experience is still there. Both of these two individuals have been dancing consistently for quite some time. I think Mighty's got maybe 8 years on him or something like that. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But yeah, this is part 2. So I'm much more curious to see how this is going to play out, because last time Mighty clearly won the first battle. Both of these individuals, there's no slack as far as in terms of their particular styles and how they approach. Limbs takes a much more abstract and kind of Buck, or an unorthodox, and Buck approach, has a lot of concepts, and again is material heavy. And then obviously rowdy. Mighty is much more rowdy, concept, and material heavy as well. Neither one of these individuals have any hang-ups as far as in terms of level changing, versatility of movement, just pretty much just bouncing off the wall. So I'm curious now to see what the approach is going to be, now that we kind of already had a little bit of a foreshadowing of what this battle looked like however long ago in San Antonio. I am definitely going to go in favor of Mighty. I think the experience is simply there. I think but he translates better as far as in terms of how to make his movements, how to make his crump literal and understandable. Definitely works as far as a lot more lines and things of that nature. Limbs, on the other hand, does take much more of a conceptual approach to it. There's a lot of level changes there, and a lot of his movements are built as far as being on the outside and things of that nature, which is a little bit different as far as in terms of Mighty's approach. But still going to go in favor of Mighty, but we can definitely see how this battle can go. But yeah, interesting to see if the skill gap is closed any bit. So yeah, not too much in depth for this. Rematches are always interesting. It's just obvious. Just kind of okay, did you learn anything from the last time that I beat you? That's what's kind of sitting in my mind as far as this battle. So yeah. Yep. And then we have KingSylar versus Wrss. So who's gonna win that battle? Me. Duh. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with that one, because I'm gonna leave that one to y'all. I never review my own battles, or obvious bias, whatever the case, because it's me, bro. But yeah, yeah. So moving on, and then the last one we have here, T-Hawk versus Deem. So T-Hawk being Buck, power base, concept heavy, and live. Then we have Deem, who is abstract, Buck, concept, and character based, or heavy. Now, for some of y'all that may or may not know, Deem is twin Screwface. formerly your twin screw face. No disrespect if he is or he isn't. Just didn't see that on the flyer. But he is the individual that was at the Immortal Buck last year, and he was also in San Antonio. What was it, the Tower? So if you want to go look for, is it not the Tower? I apologize. I can't remember that event, but Brax threw it. So, but maybe it is the Tower. My apologies if I'm wrong. But Deem is no slouch. So this is a very interesting matchup. Haven't seen T-Hawk in a while, but I definitely never forgot like his approach to Crump, which is, it's just a wave, a wave and a momentum of just like raw Crump and power and just focused energy that is just, it's just like, how do I describe it? It's like a falcon punch. Like it just gets charged up and it's just like, I'm finna hit you in your shit. Like that's all there is to it. Not to say that that's linear in any capacity, because I've seen so many character-based dancers go up against him and pretty much just catch a momentum because it's just so unexpected. Like he is very much a person that just comes out. It's just like, all right, I'm gonna give you about like 4-5 seconds, and for the next 45, like I'm just gonna wild on you. And that's all there is to it. And he brings a lot of versatility of movement as well. Like it's not just simply like, oh, he's just up, down, and left, right. He is very much up, down, left, right, turn around, drop, you know. Wow, that sounded crazy. Turn around, drop. Dang. I apologize, T-Hawk. but yeah, pretty much is what I'm saying. Like there's no slacking in regards to him. And then when we look at Deem is somebody that I saw about 2 years ago at the event that Brax hosted in San Antonio, and his style is very unique, very unique. A lot of texture, a lot of abstract movement, and has a lot of power as well. Very heavily character based. I know I just pretty much repeated, what I wrote down, but it is the best way to just describe it. Haven't really seen him in too many battle capacities. I don't know if he just kind of took a little bit of a break or hiatus and stuff, but haven't really seen him do too much traveling or whatever the case may be. But he's definitely no slouch. In regards to this battle, I am going to go in favor of T-Hawk as far as in terms of the experience, battle awareness, and just simply just the momentum that he could potentially bring to this battle. Now, as I've said, in other battles as well, there's nothing wrong with as far as like that, the traditional overwhelming approach to Crump, which can be sometimes looked at as linear. No problem with that. Factors may apply, meaning depending on like the momentum of his round, how he approaches it, what all is going to be involved in that round. Is he just going to get out there and get live? That can work, and it can also fail as well, depending on if Deem gets out there and maybe his first round, or he starts, he has either he starts or he goes second. He can potentially rebuttal that round, because I definitely do remember him being very, very, very texture heavy and very, very heavily character based and concept heavy. So I definitely don't think by any capacity that San Antonio is going to let him slack, and they know who he's going up against. So he might just simply take, like I said, the abstract approach, and it's like, okay, I'm going to let you max out like every single round, but then I'm going to take a much more creative or tactical approach to this battle. And it can work, because often a lot of times these two can be the weakness for each other. It's like, oh, you got out there and you did a whole bunch of moves and you kind of left a lot out there. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to just get off on you, and then I'm potentially trying one round you, or I'm just going to, outpace you so much that you got to play keep up the second round. Then you have Deem, who could potentially get out there, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to get out here and pace. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take you to deep waters. I'm going to hit you with all this creativity, and I'm going to Crump to where all that buckness and rowdiness and liveness and power and stuff like that, it just looks linear. It's a very real possibility. So I think that's something to heavily be it's important to be mindful of. So, but all that being said, I am going to go in favor of T-Hawk. I think the experience is just simply there. If push comes to shove, I'm sure he is labbing. Obviously, I would imagine everybody's labbing for this, but he knows who he's battling. Everybody's going to do their research in some capacity, and they're going to know who they're up against. So, yeah. Well, that's all I got for these particular battles. That part one of Saturday night. This is the part of the conversation where I turn the conversation over to you guys. I said that again. This is the part of the video where I turn the conversation over to you guys. You know what I'm saying. Just let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Like, share, subscribe. Stick around for part two. See you guys in a little bit. Peace.